is Moss from Investor Partner Group coming in live today in relation to how to pick. If you want to buy something and it's not a forever home, then do not. Hello Facebook family and friends, how are you today? This is Moss from Investor Partner Group, and today we are going to talk about why property investing is not a safe investment. And bear with me for a second when I say this, because of course this goes against everything that I say on a day-to-day basis. Now, this is Moss, and those who haven't heard me, I help create sustainable property portfolios without impacting or sacrificing lifestyle. We do that through our property strategies. We do that through our buyer's agency, property development, tax, SMSF, and business advisory business. Okay. Now, let me start by saying this, that property is not a safe investment in today's time, especially when you're absorbing a lot of social media. And let me start by telling you a story. And this is where I read it somewhere. It's about two couples, a husband and wife. Both of them paid $70,000 in taxes, but the second couple is actually saving $35,000 in taxes. Now, that's clearly a $35,000 saving in taxes, right? So these advertisers, what they were making it look like, if you can save $35,000 in taxes just by investing in the two properties, people should come out and talk to them, right? So sounds quite fun, right? But in the real sense, this is the biggest bullshit I've ever heard in property investing. And let me tell you why. And we'll put around some numbers around some of these things to help you understand as to what this really means and why, this is pure negative marketing or negative advertising, okay? So let's unpack the story, number one. So what you're looking here is a single-sided equation. And when I call it a single-sided equation, what they're not mentioning is that the couple who is saving taxes is actually having less disposable income. Because what they are doing is they are spending at least close to an extra $3,000 per month in excess mortgage repayments that are going out of their own pocket every month that the couple A is not paying, because these properties are naturally negatively geared properties. Now, even for the sake of assumption, if these properties are positively geared properties, which means that after tax, you're saving money, from a cash flow impact perspective, you're still losing a lot of money. Okay, and number three, for the tax depreciation side of things, when these advertisers are calling this a benefit, it's not actually a permanent benefit, it's a temporary benefit. And what needs to happen is that this temporary benefit needs to be paid back to the tax office when you're selling this property. Now, let's understand these with numbers so that you can get a much better sense about this story and not fall prey to some of these things. Let's assume that you bought a property for $500,000, okay? You claim tax depreciation for $10,000 every year. So over a period of 5 years, you claim $50,000 in tax depreciation, great. And so for that $50,000, maybe your tax that you saved was, say, $25,000, okay? Great, awesome. Now, let's unpack this. So let's assume that in 5 years' time, you're selling this property and the sell price of the property is still $500,000 and nothing has changed. Now, although you're selling this property for $500,000 and technically you have made no gains on that property, from a tax office perspective, because you have claimed $50,000 in tax depreciation, the price of the property is actually $450,000. And so you have to pay a tax on $50,000 of the profit that you have gained on this property. Yes, there would be, discounting method that would come in place, and we're not talking about that. And people would also argue that, hey, there would be capital gains in these properties. Let me tell you by saying this, at a brand new off-the-plan property or an apartment would never really see true growth, because the demands for these properties may be high, but the supply is even a lot more higher. And that's why you would never see a true capital growth coming through some of these properties. Please don't fall into this trap. Learn real investing or seek someone who has done this over numerous number of times. Thank you very much for listening to me today. Have a wonderful day. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, please feel free to reach out. Happy to answer those questions.